Hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go through this really fast. So all of the SOPs that we have in our binder, I put into one presentation so I can talk to you guys about it really fast. So here we go. The guide to Janessa's SOPs. So we're going to talk about what SOPs are, then we're going to go through all of them. We're going to cover bathroom, PE, inclusion, hallway, lunchtime, hygiene, data collection, laundry, gradual release strategy, creative arts, and a little work system overview. Okay, ready? Here we go. So what the heck is an SOP? That would probably be very handy to know considering we're going to be talking about them for a minute. So let's get in. And I typed it up really fun for you, so I'm going to read it to you because I liked it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. An SOP is your official, dazzling, can't miss step-by-step guide that tells you exactly how to do something the right way every single time. Sorry. Okay. So why do we need SOPs? Think of it as the answer key to the game, the ultimate playbook, the golden envelope revealing how to not mess up. Whether you're running a classroom, a kitchen, or a circus full of caffeinated squirrels, which is kind of what our classroom is like, the SOP keeps everyone on the same page, following the same moves, and achieving the same fabulous results. No guessing, no chaos, no what were we supposed to do moments. Okay? It's consistency, it's clarity, it's a how-to manual. Sparkle. Okay? So Sparkle's operating manual. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so an SOP is where the routines become really smooth, directions become really simple, and the whole operation runs like a prize-winning, well-oiled game show machine. Yes, that was me trying to be a game show host. Yeah. Okay. So the heavy hitters are first. I'm really sorry, but we're going to knock them out really fast. First of all, in dealing with students going to the bathroom, do not be on your phone. First of all, it looks like you could be a pedo and taking pictures of kids in the bathroom, and that's not appropriate because we work at school. And then also the less and more, the less, anyways, don't be a pedo and do your job. So, yeah. Check the bathroom before the kid goes in. Make sure it's clean. Because if it isn't clean, we need to have a conversation with whoever took the kid to the bathroom last time. But yeah, you need to make sure that that bathroom is clean before the kids go in there. Make sure that there's no pee anywhere that they're going to be dipping their clothes into, that kind of thing. Yeah. We need to make sure that we are standing outside the door with the door cracked. Just, your foot width at most. Keeping that open just to make sure that we are supervising what they're doing in there. This year is really important. We've had a lot of weird stuff going on in the bathroom. So somebody needs to be supervising in there if at all possible. Now, obviously, if there's one person in the room, we can't just stand by the bathroom door, but do what you can. So you're going to observe through the crack, make sure that they are staying safe. You're also, if there's only one adult in the room, make sure that you are listening for any inappropriate sounds coming from the bathroom, which is usually dripping water or excessive flushing or yeah. So yeah. Now, give gentle but brief reminders as needed to keep the kids going, doing what they're supposed to do in there, and then leaving the bathroom. So that way we're not wasting a bunch of time just lollygagging in the bathroom. Only go in there if you have to. I don't want to put you guys in a situation and I don't want to stress the kids out. So, don't go in the bathroom unless you absolutely have to. But there are moments where we have to. We have to help them wipe. We have to help them, change clothes, whatever. Just do it with dignity. Make sure that you're not sitting there shaming them like, ooh, gross, you pooped your pants. Ooh, gross, you have it on your leg. Ooh, you're nasty. Don't you dare say anything like that to my kids or I will get livid. Okay? So we're kind, we're understanding, we're empathetic. We understand if they had the choice, they wouldn't have made that mess themselves. They just are in a situation. So please be kind to my babies. If you need to wear gloves, wear gloves. They're in the bathroom. If we need more, you'll go see Nurse Linnell in the office and she can get you guys some more gloves. Make sure that you are helping the kids clean up in the bathroom. If they have an accident or if they make a mess, make sure that you are helping them. Now, obviously, they should be doing most of that cleanup, But you will need to gently coach them on how to do that. You might have to give them step-by-step directions on how to handle that. Make sure that you are enforcing a consistent hand washing process, turning on the water, getting their hands wet, putting soap on their hands, scrubbing for about 20 seconds, singing the ABCs or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is usually what I do with them. Different kids, different strokes, different songs, but whatever. Get them to wash for a good 20 seconds, then make sure that they rinse off all the bubbles. That's what I tell the kids, rinse all the bubbles, turn off the water, dry your hands, use visuals as necessary. Make sure that the kids clean up their messes, but if there is any like bodily fluids that they're cleaning up, make sure that they wash their hands again after they've cleaned up. But I do want that routine of go to the bathroom, wash your hands, then clean up the mess, then if you need to, wash your hands again. It's a little excessive, but for them, keeping that strict routine of every time we go to the bathroom, as soon as we're done, we wash our hands is really important. If we break that routine, it can just have them lose that habit. So make sure that you are sanitizing the surfaces. If you need more Clorox wipes or cleaning spray, let me know. Properly dispose of the gloves, and if there is poop that we ended up throwing in the trash can, or if we had to wipe a bottom and they have poop on the wipes, please tie up that bag, take it to the trash can, and then put a new bag in the bathroom trash. We don't want everybody having to smell that the rest of the day. Be respectful, keep the kids, give them their dignity, give them their privacy. Nobody needs to know exactly what happened. We don't shout, oh my gosh, he pooped his pants all the way across the classroom. You can give the look and be like, but please do not be shouting across the classroom about something that happened. You would be humiliated if somebody did that about you, so don't do it about my baby. Make sure that you are staying calm and supportive. Stay professional and discreet. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. Sometimes it is a 2 or 3 man team. I know, I've been there. It's okay to ask for help, okay? All right, that was the heftiest one, I promise. Bathroom, we're done. All right, in PE. Now, go to the bathroom before we go to PE. You guys know we go to PE at 9:10 every other day. The schedule is a little wonky, but 9:10. Make sure you're going to the bathroom before 9:10, not when we go into PE. Make sure that you are engaged with the students at all time. Model the participation you are expecting from the students. If you're sitting on your tushy, they're going to think they can sit on theirs. Be the model. Adapt activities to the student's ability level. So if they are, swinging a baseball, see if you can figure out a way to make it fit for the student so that they can participate evenly with the rest of the kids. No personal devices. Stay off your phone. Pretty consistent across the board. Stay off your phone. Students in activities should follow the same rules as peers. So if they are playing dodgeball and they get hit, they are out. We are not going to play this kid is special, they don't get out. No, we follow the same rules. If they are not participating actively in the game or whatever they're doing in PE, then they need to be up and moving. Walking, they can go to the auxiliary gym and ride the bicycle and do laps. They can walk around outside if we have enough support staff. Making sure the kids are safe, but also up and moving. No tushies should be sitting during PE time. That is not what it's about. This is a chance for them to get to move and explore, and we're going to make sure that they do it, okay? Use positive reinforcement to encourage movement. We are not going to threaten kids for PE. This is not the way we do it. We are going to do supportive stuff, encouraging. One thing that I am working really hard on with the twins is positional terms. So if you take them for a walk, be like, okay, we're going to walk behind the goalpost. Then we're going to turn and go in front of the soccer goal, whatever it is, just something to put those positional words in. Then you're also enforcing goals and getting them out moving around. But do not threaten them. We're not going to say, oh, you don't get this if you don't participate right now. No, we're not threatening. We are giving positive reinforcement. Oh, we need to move. So would you like to walk over to the Christmas tree and look at it? And they get to look at the Christmas tree, that kind of thing. We're going to keep it positive. We're going to motivate them. We are not going to threaten them, okay? Make sure that that is very, very ingrained in you. We are not threatening. We are using positive reinforcement. We will offer them things to motivate them. We are not going to take things away. We're not going to discipline them. We want to keep it fun, okay? And the more you enforce negative reinforcement or you start taking things away, they just feel like it's a punishment, and we don't want that. We want PE to be fun, okay? All the paras are supporting all the students. You may be assigned to one person to focus on, but guess what? If somebody else needs help, you're going to jump in and help. Don't sit here and think that you only have one kid, okay? We always focus on all the kids, especially when we are amongst all of those other gen ed kids, and it's chaos, all right? There's not a structured routine. We can't stay in our blinder area. We have to focus on all of our kids. Very important. If you guys want to establish a rotation chart to be used in PE so that it's distributed fairly, covering, the kids that are less participating than others, whatever you guys want to do is fine. I'm staying out of that. You can take that up with the PE teacher, Mrs. Cole, if you want to, but I'm going to let you guys manage that. Key reminder is the PE time is for movement. Keep them moving. We want them to interact with their gen ed peers as much as possible, make connections. If you have a happy, fun energy, the students will succeed. So make sure that you're keeping it happy, fun, and positive. Okay, boom, another one, done. Okay, inclusion. Biggest thing I can honestly tell you, follow the rules of the teacher's room that you are in. Yes, I have a no food on the carpet rule in my classroom. However, if you're in another class and the students are allowed to have food in there, absolutely, we're not going to enforce my rules in another classroom. Follow the gen ed teacher's rules. So when you first start covering an inclusion, you need to make sure that you get versed in what those expectations are. Take some time to communicate with the gen ed teacher at an appropriate time, not when they're getting ready to teach, but when they have some downtime, you can ask them, hey, what do you need from me? What expectations do you want me enforcing? Where do you want me? Where do you want my student? This kind of thing. You need to collaborate with that teacher, because at that time, though you are supporting my student in that room, you are ultimately there to help them as well. And I do expect you to be supportive of that teacher as well, as much as you can, by following the parameters of supporting our student too. Okay. Obviously, it is important that you are supporting our student, but help out the teacher as well. There's tons of downtime in inclusion, and I am not a fool to think that there's not. So please help out where you can. All right. We're all in this together. Make sure that you know what accommodations the student has if they are in inclusion, so that you can support them with those accommodations in that classroom. And if you need help with that, talk to the gen ed teacher, collaborate with them. If they have questions, they will correspond with me, but ultimately, hopefully that's something that you two can tackle together. Okay. Most of the students, if they're in an inclusion classroom, they need their work chunked. So make sure that you break it up into smaller sections, simplify it as needed, that kind of thing. Do not write or type for students in inclusion classes. All right. Do not do their work. If they're in an inclusion class, then they should be capable of doing the work. So please do not do their work for them. If they refuse to write it, then the most that you should be writing on there is student refused to write. I do not want to see your handwriting on any work that's turned in. Now, the only exception to that is if they have that accommodation of having a scribe. And that would be something that you would know. But ultimately, then you are writing word for word exactly what they say. Have them spell it out for you. If they spell it wrong, you spell it wrong. Make it as much of their work as possible, but do not do their work. Do not research it for them. You're teaching them how to research, okay? We are teaching them how to participate in that class to their full capability. And unless we challenge them to do that, then they are never going to grow in those skills. So do not do the work for them, all right? We can partner them up with other students, but do not do that work for them. Also, do not stigmatize the student by sitting right next to them. It is very important that the student is integrated into the class and you are a side support. If they are in those inclusion classes, then it's because they are capable of doing at least some of that work independently, which means they don't need you to babysit them, which is why it makes you more available to help out that gen ed teacher when they need it. If the student becomes dysregulated or disruptive in the class, you can pull them out one time. And if you can get them re-regulated by taking a walk or something and they can go back to class and be successful, great. But if they are too dysregulated to go back into the classroom, they need to come back to my room. And then also, if they pull that move a second time, then they come back to the classroom right away. And we will deal with that behavior in the classroom. If there is significant behaviors, directly reach out to admin or have the gen ed teacher reach out to admin about the student. Generally speaking, I can't stop what I'm doing to come and bail them out every time. So if the student is misbehaving in a gen ed class during inclusion, then have them go through those same steps that a gen ed teacher would do for the other students. Okay. Now we're trying to foster independence. We're trying to give them social interactions, learning appropriate behaviors. Now, you guys are important to that, but I want you as hands-off as possible. I want the student to acclimate to that environment and realize it is a separate environment and they have to follow different protocols. So that means not having you there to hold their hand, okay? We have them in inclusion for a reason, and I want to keep maintaining that. All right, done. Hallway. Now, this one's really important. The biggest thing here I'm going to tell you is reviewing expectations before we go in the hall every single time. So my chant is walking feet, ready hands, single file, right side, voices off, no touching. And then that is what I tell the kids every time they leave. Make sure that you are following that as well. The next thing is make sure that you guys are ready whenever it is time to go. So if I say, all right, kids, line up, paras, we're not waiting on you guys to line up as well. When I say for the kids to line up, that means you guys too. So I need a para at the door that we're lining up at the very front. They will be the line leader, the literal line leader, and they will be in front of the group showing them where to go. That should happen every single time. Para goes to the front, then the next para will go to the back. And then if there's any additional paras or me, I will support in the middle or with students that I know need extra attention, that kind of thing. Para in the front and para in the back, you guys can support those needy students as well. You'll just have them line up next to you. But making sure that we have a para right at the front of that door right away. Lining up is not the time for paras to go to the bathroom. Make this very clear. So yeah, make sure that you're ready. Para in the front, para in the back, support in the middle as available. And make sure that you are modeling those expectations in the hallway. So this is not a chance for you to have a side conversation while we are walking our students. You don't get to talk to the paras. We are modeling that expected behavior. I take a lot of pride in teaching our kids to be one of the most behaved students walking through the halls of the whole entire building. So I have very high expectations because it is a social behavior that they should and can learn. They need to learn how to behave appropriately walking through halls, walking through aisles in stores. This is important. This is a social skill that is very important to me, and I really hope that you will take it seriously. Please do not get distracted yourself. I understand we see the other students in the hall and we want to say hi, but focus on our students. That's where we're at. That's what we need. So don't stop and talk to gen ed kids and let our kids wander off. You need to stay focused with your job. Also, stay off your phone. Thank you. Okay, done. Here we go. Lunchtime. Stay off your phone. This is really important, guys. If you haven't noticed, like every single thing, stay off your phone. I have a lot of friends in this building, and I will know when you guys are walking on your phone and talking on your phone and doing all of this stuff, even if I'm not there. Teachers, admin, they all tell me. So don't fool yourself and sit here and think because I'm not there, I don't know. Stay off your phone. This is really important at lunchtime because a lot of stuff can happen really fast. We have food snatchers in the class. We have elopers in the class. We have a seizure risk in the class. We have temper tantrums in the class. There's no reason to add you being on your cell phone to the mix. Interact with the kids. Lunchtime is the funnest for me. I like to joke and have fun with them, talk. It's a chance to socialize with them. And there's no super high academic expectations. You just get to be silly and talk and get to know them, learn about their family, that kind of thing. Practice speech, practice using their talkers, practice defining things, whatever. Make it fun, but stay off your phone. Make sure that you are getting the kids to go appropriately through the lunch line, which means paying attention to what they're doing. Review those expectations for kids as necessary. So, you're going to wait in line, don't grab your brother's milk, blah, 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 whatever, etc. You know what I'm talking about. Make sure that you are actively paying attention to those behaviors. Make sure that they stay seated once they get to the table. Bella Boo gets to go on Thursdays to sit with Redfield. Cash at this moment is sitting with our group. If I change that, I will let you guys know. But for right now, Cash is still sitting with our group. We need to make sure that we are watching unsafe behaviors, playing with food, choking hazards, throwing foods, stealing food, that kind of thing. Don't allow it. Make sure that you are using manners and gentle reminders. Do not ever get mad at a student for eating or not eating food. This is their choice. And if they don't like it, we're not pushing it. We will celebrate when they do eat something that they don't normally eat, but we will never enforce that. That's what parents are for. We're just here to support them while they eat, not enforce what they eat. Okay. I want to make that very clear. If you guys are eating during lunchtime, 100% okay, but you need to be focused on the kids. And if some of the kids end up stealing your food, that's on you. It's just part of life. So they steal it from each other. Don't expect that they won't steal it from you. Also, making sure when it is time to leave that you have left the table and the floor clean. So whether that's having the kids deal with it or you deal with it, but if I get reports about our group leaving things messy, I will be very disappointed. So making sure that that entire area is all cleaned up before lining up. Everybody should come back together. Again, this is really important. A para will be in the front, a para will be in the back, another para, if they are there, will support in the middle. But you guys will not have kids walking in front of you. When they come back to the classroom, para should be the one that opens the door to come back in the classroom. Students single file line all the way back in, and then we get started with the rest of our day. That's really important. Okay, boom. Tick, tick, done. Hygiene. Use the bathroom before and after PE, leaving the gym. So this one is still about PE. I didn't get the hygiene one done. Just kidding. Sorry. I'm not gonna re-record this whole video, so we're just gonna skip over this one. Basically, hygiene is, I'll change the slides eventually, but yeah, hygiene is really important to have them brush their teeth, brush their hair, put on deodorant. We are scaffolding this to make sure that they can do it independently. Do not yell at them or get mad or frustrated because they can't do this independently. We are helping them get there, okay? So patience, kindness, okay? Repeat information probably every single day for the rest of the school year. It's okay. And I'm sorry that this is not the right slide info. Can you tell I copied and pasted the slides? Yeah, okay. Anyways, data collection. Guess what? You need to stay off your phone. Now, like I said, IEP information is in their independent workstation drawers. They have these little cards. On the side of the card, it'll say how paras can support. And that's what you guys will do. Reviewing those and figuring out things that you can do to support. Clarify in your notes what the success looked like for you, how you measured it, that kind of thing. Make sure that you're identifying whether you're measuring frequency, the duration, the percentage, how many prompts, and then any anecdotal notes, so anything extra that you felt was important. Do not make assumptions. Do not put emotion into it, that kind of thing. Only what you actually see. So a lot of times it's kind of like putting earmuffs on and you're like, okay, I saw the kid do this. Even though he was rambling about 900 things and he was really mad, he actually did participate and do this. So yeah, definitely identify what prompts and supports were used so that way we can keep scaffolding it and hopefully reduce those prompts as we go. Make sure that you're keeping that data in your binders so that way I can see it every week, okay? Anything that's unusual, make sure that you let me know. Student's having a really bad day, student is really struggling with a skill that we are working on, let me know. The sooner the better, so that way we can resolve the situation. Ask questions if you have any questions, but make sure that you're doing it at appropriate times. I would much rather you get caught in a situation where you don't know how to record it and you just move on with the student, keep working with the student, and then come back and be like, okay, this is what we were doing and I wasn't sure what you wanted me to see. Then we can set up that plan for what you need to document for the next time. But don't just stop an activity because you don't know which data to record. Keep the activity going and then just make a note so that way we know we need to get more clarification on what data you need. Okay, boom, chick, chick, done. Laundry. This is something we do with the kids every day. Stay off your phone. Ooh, that was, yeah, stay off your phone. So they're gonna go get the dirty laundry. They bring it down. I've actually gotten to where the kids are doing a lot of this independently, but some of them still need supports, and like some of them will probably always need that support. So going to get the laundry, helping them get it started. As you can see, it's assist the students as they do this stuff. You should not be doing any of these tasks unless we are crunched on time, okay? So making sure that you are assisting them, but not doing it for them. You can scaffold those skills as much as needed to, get them where they need to be. Obviously, maybe modeling it comes first. At this point, they all know what to do. None of them really need the modeling. They just need those verbal prompts. So yeah, but assist them. Do not do it for them. Making sure that each kid gets to do all of the different steps throughout the week. We're making sure that they're becoming more independent in doing laundry. Okay. Done. Gradual release. Now, this is a teaching process, and this is basically what I want you guys to focus on when we are doing our rotations. If I give you guys an assignment to work on with the kids, this is what I really am looking for. And so I figured I would overview that for you. So what do you know? You need to stay off your phone in order to do this. Okay. So I do. This is the first process, and it's the teacher modeling clearly. You talk through the whole process. What is 2 plus 2? How can I draw this? I could do 2 dots here and 2 dots here, and then I could count them. Okay, it's that verbal processing of exactly what you're doing for each step, helping them understand what they're going to be thinking as they're doing this. Okay, now it's really important as you're doing all of this, you assess the understanding after each time you model it. So if the student gets it after one model, then you don't need to do 4 more models, okay? But if another student is struggling and you have to end up modeling the whole worksheet, that's okay. It is 100% okay. Evaluate after each time you've done something, whether the student is able to start moving towards more independence on it. If not, keep modeling. Now, as they do work towards more independence, you need to make sure that you're giving them praise and guidance. If there's something that they're doing wrong, make sure that you're catching it right then and there. The hardest thing is to relearn something after you've learned it the wrong way. So if they are working on it and they do it wrong, catching them, be like, oh, you know what? Let's rethink this. Do not say, no, that's wrong. Okay, we don't go that route. That's harsh. That's rude. We're gonna say, ooh, I see that. Can you explain why you think that? Or, let's look at this again because I think it might be something else. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Give them a chance to think. Do not shut them down. Do not tell them they're wrong. It's just that supportive, guided direction. All right. So you're going to guide those questions to get them going in the area where they need to go. Then we have the we do. This is something that you're going to set up a problem and you're going to start doing that mental thought process questioning. How could I solve this? And then they get to start chiming in. Ooh, let's do the dots. 2 dots on this one and 2 dots on this one. Okay, so then they're contributing. All right, they're starting to get some of those steps in there and they're helping you work through it. Once they can basically coach you through an entire problem or whatever it is you're working on, one entire question. Once they're able to do that and coach you through it, that's when you know that they're able to go independent. Okay. But we don't want to release them until we can see them actually demonstrating. And for a lack of better term, sorry, for a lack of better term, regurgitate what you have taught them, then yeah, sorry guys. I'm impressed I've made it this far with that. Okay, check. All right, in creative arts, guess what? You need to stay off your phone. Thank you. All right. So you guys are leading activities on all of this. I'm branching out. I'm letting you guys kind of take this over. And it's a fun thing to do. I have a lot of stuff, especially for December, for us to do, but hopefully come January, we will have kind of a stockpile of ideas and that you guys have contributed. So that way you guys can do some of the activities that you'd like. Because I mean, I could come up with creative arts activities for every single day of the year, but I want to give you guys some chances to do some stuff too. It's funner when you're doing something you like. Um, Here's the big deal. Let the kids make a mess. Do not shame them for being messy. Do not make them do their work perfectly. Do not color for them. Do not cut for them. This is a chance for them to be creative. I don't care what the end result is. I care about the process, them having fun. All right. Creative arts is literally being creative and artistic. Guess what? My artsy fartsy ways may not be your artsy fartsy ways, just like it's that way for our kids. It's okay. Let them do it their way. We're going to give them an idea. We're going to give them this big picture and they're going to turn it into what they want. And it's going to be awesome. Um, when it comes to especially like gifts and stuff that we're making for holidays coming up, obviously, guess what? Parents like it when it's original. They don't like it when they see that the parent has done the work. I have heard that from every single parent as I send home activities. They're like, oh my gosh, I can tell he did this one. Yep, nobody helped him. I love it. It is all him. They love it. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not perfect. Our kids are not perfect. It's okay. Okay. Um, Make it pressure free. We don't need to, it's a lot like PE. We want to make it fun. We want to make it engaging. We want to inspire them to want to do it, not force them to do it. Okay. Risk taking, creativity. It's okay. If they come up and they're like, I know everybody else is using green paper, but I really feel like doing pink grass today. And you're like, all right, go for it. I love it. Little Dr. Seuss going on right there. Okay. It's all good. Okay. Okay. Independent work system. This is the last one. Woo-hoo. Now, this is not a whole work system video. I'm doing that next. But this one is really just an overview of what it looks like for the independent work system, which is the 3-tiered drawers that we have in the classroom that we're setting up generally for the twins and Wyatt right now. Sometimes, sometimes Aisha, but ultimately it is just for keeping those kids moving because they need to have constant work. They cannot have something that is not structured in their life. So the independent work systems are just the 3-tiered drawers. Guess what? You need to stay off your phone. The 3 drawers, something that's familiar or comforting, just gets them into the work mode. Okay. Now that can be 20 file folders if necessary. Okay. But they are going to be simple, engaging tasks. This is going to be something that they can completely do on their own, but not necessarily have to. Okay. They can, but they don't have to. All right. Let me make this very clear. You should still be supporting that student. And the only reason that you wouldn't be there supporting that student is if you were juggling a couple of things or you had to step away, and that's okay. That's why we've set it up to be independent. But ultimately, you should be there to make sure that they're utilizing the system correctly. Okay. So the second drawer is going to be your goal related content. These handy dandy little cards again come into play. This is where if we're working on math, you're going to look at the student's math goal and you're going to be like, oh snap, they need to do the hundredths chart task box. Okay. You're going to figure that out with these cards and that's going to be your goal work. All right. Then your last drawer, it can be closer. It should be simple. It shouldn't be anything very challenging. It also could be something that's kind of time consuming but mindless. So like the sorting tasks, you guys can put the cards that need to be sorted or the ornaments that need to be sorted in that last drawer, and then they know that they need to go do that sorting task. Okay. And it's something that will take up that extra time. It can also be a reward. Like for Nathan, he likes his VHS movies. So I tell him he keeps one movie in the bottom drawer. And when he gets to that bottom drawer, he gets his 5 minutes of movie time or 10 minutes of movie time. All right. But the rules for that have to be, okay, you stay in your area, you have your movies, and then when your timer goes off, then the movies go away. They are not in your area anymore. And we need to get better at that, making sure that you are taking those rewards away whenever he is done with his reward time so he can go back to work. We're not keeping them engaged during work time. We need to move them out of the area, go back to work. And letting him engage in that control really does help. Just a heads up, letting him put the movies away and put them where they go out of the work area is very helpful for Nathan. Anyways, we want to make sure that we're staying positive when we're using these drawers. The last drawer, like I said, can be either a time-consuming but kind of simple task like sorting. It can be a reward like Nathan and his movies, or Wyatt maybe and kinetic sand. Wyatt and his bolts could be the last one. But if they have that reward, aside from Nathan and his movies, I do not want the same reward in the bottom drawer every time. If we've used it once for that day, it should be done. So change out those rewards to give them something else to have. Then we don't stem on getting that one thing and we don't get bored with it. So alternate what goes in that bottom drawer as a reward. For Henry, obviously, he can handle more work. So he could do more file folders in that last drawer. But then it makes it very hard because if you have extra time at the end and he's done with those file folders, now he's earned a break. So giving him maybe a snack in that last drawer for Henry would be a great option. Even for Wyatt, having one of those pouches and a spoon in the bottom drawer might be a great way to incentivize him. Try it out. It doesn't matter. I will go into a much more detailed video about work systems. But for right now, just kind of giving you an idea about how we set those up. These are in every single one of the tiered drawers. So that way we have them. And like I said, they're for each student. There's a card for each student. Some of them are double-sided because they have a lot of goals. It explains what the goal is, what category it is, and how you can help support that. Make sure that you are doing that on a daily basis, referring to these cards to make sure that we are focusing on those goals. And boom. Don't forget to tip your wait staff. I'm going to go have some Hall's lozenges because my throat is killing me from recording these videos. I love you bunches. I really appreciate all that you do. I hope you know that. I'm just trying to make this easy for everyone. So I love you guys. Really, honestly, I do. And I appreciate you. Okay, that's it. I'm done being sappy and oogly moogly, and here we go. We're just done now. Okay. I'm gonna figure out how to click end eventually. And there we go.